and welcome. These are horse racing selections for Saturday the 24th of February. I am Flat Cap Callum and I'm hoping you are all very, very well. Well, what have we got? Saturday, big day, lots of racing, lots of good stuff on the TV. I'm happy with the plan. We're going to have a change of attitude today, folks. A change of attitude because the last few weeks, I think the attitude's not been right. So I'm a big news on the channel. Terry and Steve, I've been talking to Terry and Steve. Terry and Steve are back on board, right? So support networks there, okay? So Terry and Steve will be supporting me now going forward. So I'm sure a lot of people will be delighted about Terry and Steve being back. Some people will be very confused. Work out who you are, okay? So Terry and Steve are back. We've also got a brand new bet, right? I thought this long and hard, and I'm like, there is not enough gimmicks on this channel, right? We need more gimmicks. So there is a brand new bet for this weekend. Whether it's going to be one that will stay for weekends coming forth, I don't know. But I felt like, do you know what? I looked around and I thought, gimmicks. We need more gimmicks on this channel, right? It's just a bit. But me and plants is not enough. Need gimmicks. We got a new bet that's coming. Generally for Saturday stake, it's a £25 stake in a quarter, and we've got 6 bets. Certainly interesting if nothing else. About roughly 40% on the jumps and 60% on. Split between Southwell and Riyadh. So for those of you who don't pay attention to everything on the racing, big weekend in Saudi Arabia. So the Saudi Cup, the most expensive race in the world. Most valuable race in the world. Haven't got a bet specifically in the Saudi Cup, but I have got a couple of the other periphery races. One's a handicap, one I think it's Group 2. I've got a couple of interests in there with some nice prices. So that's there, and included in the jumps bet as well. There's one horse for Sunday. I was umming and ahhing about including it or not including it, but the jumps bet, the main jumps bet, is a Canadian because 4 are Saturday and 1 is Sunday. So before I give you all the deets of that, and after that I'll go into tips the league stuff. So we need to do the tips the league. Quick review of Friday. We had Pysanka, didn't we? Annoyingly, I didn't do a vid the night before, did I? So you weren't able to access, unless you do it throwing back the 28s, 33s that was available. But 16s was the channel price. It SP'd at 16s, did go a bit shorter than that, and then came back out again. So we had 4 duffers, but we had Pysanka 16-1. Now, guys, you know how it works, right? There is nobody on YouTube that has given you more 16-1 winners at Wolverhampton this week. Nobody on YouTube's given you more 16-1 winners at Wolverhampton than I have. You just remember that, folks, okay? Next time anyone's slighting Wolverhampton, that's a true statement, right? This week, whatever it is, week commencing the 18th of February, no one on YouTube's given you more 16-1 winners at Wolverhampton than me. Like, can't say fairer than that, can you? Do you know what I mean? So, a gigantic 60 pence profit. Michael messaged, he said he was going to go and buy himself a celebratory bag of crisps with it. Well done. Feel free, Michael, if you want to share what flavour, what you're into. You're getting Tato's, are you getting Walkers, what's your thing? Let us know what flavour crisps you bought with your celebratory 60 pence. So for the week, that's 17 behind, right? So we've got 25 down. Worst it can be this week's 42 minus. Clearly, we'd all love a cracking Saturday. So that is what we're going to have, folks. Mindset. Change your attitude. Steve Terry back. Got a fantastic new bet for the weekend. We've had a winner at Wolverhampton. What more could you want? We are back on the game, okay? Saturday, this is going to be our day. We're going to have this Saturday, all right? Please gamble responsibly. But we're going to have this today, folks, okay? So that's that. Word on the golf, we had 3 duffers. We had 4 bets, 3 duffers, and 1 bet is going along very nicely. So on the Asian tour, which I'm sure some people, I don't know how many people really do the golf bets, to be honest. There's a few, and then I'm sure when I said I was going to do Asian tour, I'm sure that's even some of the ones that do normally do the golf bets probably jumped off. But lo and behold, Kevin Yuan, who was the value pick of the four, as I told you, yeah, he's having a great one. So it's interesting on that Asian Tour event because you've got a lot of the players that usually play on the Live Tour that have dropped into the Asian Tour because they're not allowed to go on the European Tour or the PGA Tour, but they can go play on the Asian Tour. So that's what they're doing. So yeah, those are the ones that are dominating the leaderboard. Kevin Yuan is not one of them, so he is the highest placed non-Live Tour player, I think. Well, let's see what he can do because we're only at the halfway stage. And yes, he's a very nice price, and yes, he's doing well, but we're 50% through, and you don't get anything for being tied third at the halfway stage. So we'll see how he goes. He gets going in about, I think he's teeing off before 7 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. So yeah, we'll see. For early risers, you can follow it. For late risers, you can see where he's got to. So that's that. So I'm going to crack through Saturday's bets. And then what we're going to do, Tipster League. So we're going to do the result of last week's Tipster League that I have not got done this week. So I do apologise to anybody who's waiting with bated breath about the result of last week's Tipster League. I'll do that, and I'll do this week's Tipster League stuff. And also thank you to Statman Stephen King, who I haven't emailed back and to say thank you. So Stephen, I know I haven't done that, but if you're watching, thank you very much. I shall be in contact with you, sir. Thank you. All right, so here's the big reveal, the new bet right now. So what I thought is, I was going to do my jumps bet. I thought I'll call it like a Saturday something, but then I realised because I'm going to put a horse in it that isn't on Saturday, it's in Sunday, I'm going to call it the weekend bet. But you can't just call it the weekend bet because you need gimmicks, right? So then I was like, maybe like Fizzler, maybe like the weekend Fizzler bet. And then I was like, no, it needs to be more exciting than that. So this is the unveiling of the first ever weekend Turkey Twizzler bet. Okay, I'm going to patent this, folks. This is going to be potentially a returning fixture if it goes well. If it goes well, we'll have it on every week, and if it goes badly, you'll never see it again. I'll just pretend I never even mentioned it in the first place. But for now, for potentially the one and only time, here is the weekend Turkey Twizzler bet, folks. Not seen on any other YouTube channel, right? You can't have anyone. No one else has got it. Weekend Turkey Twizzler. So 115 Kempton. Some people literally have no idea, do they? What's going on? 115 Kempton. Samuel Spade. I'll give you a quick headline on all these. So Samuel Spade, last time out ran in the Lanzarote, finished midfield. Before that, it looked like it was on a progressive upcline. And if you actually look at the horses that have run against since they've been in the Lanzarote that finished mid-pack, they've all gone on to run pretty reasonable races. So I think you can kind of upgrade 10th of 19 or whatever it was. And if you go back to the progressiveness, I think Samuel Spade's worth taking. And bear in mind, all of these races on this bet are all 4 places. So Samuel Spade 12s, 208 in the Ida. I was umming and ahhing. I've really had a good look through this a long time. I mean, that's why this video is uploading late for those who've been waiting. But yeah, a lot of these I've taken a long time at. So whether or not that's the right angle, we'll find out. But Tommy Bow, just solid. I felt in terms of proving on the distance, in terms of almost the distance, and ground wise, no problem. Running in the form of his life. So yeah, hopefully this isn't the run that goes off the rail. So that's in 308 Chepstow. I'm going to take a bit of a punt on Alaphilippe getting back to on track. So this is a Pertemps qualifier. Has got an entry in the Pertemps, but hasn't qualified yet. Previously runs pretty well, as in more than pretty well at Cheltenham. But just been a little bit of a while since you've seen anything decent. It was unseated last time over hurdles, and before that it was running on chasers, and it didn't look great. So if it bounces back over the near 3 mile trip, ground's not a problem. It's whether it's kind of still retains enough ability. But clearly, if they've got it entered in the Pertemps, they're hoping that it's going to run well enough, finish in the top 4 to get in the Pertemps, and then the 25 to 1 you've got on the Pertemps might look a little bit on the bigger side at the moment. But yeah, it's a bit like the other week we had Third Wind. Not sighted. Let's see if Alaphilippe's any better, because it definitely was a much better horse than the mark suggests. Then 3:37 Kempton in the Coral Trophy. I found that one tricky too, but I've gone on the one I think is most solid for a frame. I think it's probably an unlikely winner, but it generally runs its race killer cane, so that's in at 12s. And then Sunday, that was the one I've said I've had a debate about. 3:55 Nace. It's another Pertemps qualifier. This is Pertemps qualifiers all the blinking time, and I've ummed and ahed because I wasn't sure whether I should put a Sunday horse in or not. But it is the only thing I looked at on Sunday in terms of anything I found I liked on Sunday. I thought I might as well include it. It's just the price point, because I think Hills are the only ones priced up. Hills are priced up at 20s. I would love to be able to get 20 to 1 on that horse for the channel. But whether or not that's the case or not, I think it's going to open at a reasonable price, and I think it will get shorter. So it wouldn't surprise me if it actually went off single figures. So I'm taking a bit of a risk on a horse I think will get backed in. But penultimate run, it was really, really good. It won its maiden at 50 to 1. Penultimate run in a handicap, it was second. Pretty well clear, I think, the front two were. And then last time it didn't run well at all, but actually if you read the write-up of it from a veterinary point of view, it had a dirty scope. So I think if that one's fit and healthy again, they've given it a bit of time, then that horse has definitely got more mileage in that mark. The profile's already telling you that it might be a little bit on the fragile side, but ability-wise, I think that horse is well capable, and I like the jockey book. You've got a £7 claimer on it as well, which I think's going to do no harm on it. So 10p each way Canadian, 350p win single. So no on these ones on Saturday afternoon. I've left Tommy Bow, and I've done 50p win singles on the other three, and a 50p each way single on Miss Agatha Yeats. If we can get a double figure price, I'll happily take it. But yeah, the 20s that Hills are currently advertising, joyous. So if you have got a Hills account, then I would put this bet on with Hills and take the 20 to 1. Sky have come out best, but the 1:15 I think is their promotion race, so they're only 3 and everyone else is 4. But then there's a couple of other races where they're better, and therefore they've come out better overall. But if you have got Hills, I'd put the bet on with Hills first and foremost to get the 20 to 1 on Miss Agatha Yates. And then, because I think Hills, it might be the Ida that Hills have gone 5, the same as Sky. And then 365 and Paddy are joint second best. So that is the first ever weekend Turkey Twizzler bet. Yeah, you've heard it here first, folks. There ain't no one got even close to a weekend Turkey Twizzler knocking out there. Alright. Here's a mainstream win Trixie for you. Bet 2, 227 Kempton, Tamuras 3 to 1. Nichols dominates this race, and I think that from a rating point of view, that horse they were quite close. But I think if you actually judged it on performances, I think that's the best horse. So 3 to 1's a generous price. 320 Lingfield, Lord North. I think it should be odds on. It's never run at Southwell before, and it's coming off a break. But it rarely runs a bad race. And if you look at anything else in that race, you can't really argue a strong case for something. There's nothing progressive that's going to come in and smash it. If it underperforms, that's what will beat it. Not because it's not the best. It is the best horse in the race. So Lord North 6 to 4, and then the 350 Fairy House. It's only a 4-runner. It's the Bobby Joe Chase. Decent quality. It's a bit of a shame because it was a couple more horses in it earlier in the week, and it would have been a bit more interesting. Again, a bit like the Tamuras race, there's not loads in it, and Vanilla is the favourite, but I think it's only the favourite because it's gone favourite for the Grand National, and this isn't going to be the horse's target necessarily. I know the Vanilla has run in the race before, but didn't. Yeah, I don't think they'll run it in this race. They're running it to prep it for the Grand National. And I think, on balance, Manila Crooner is the most likely winner of them. And it's a very tight market. So I think there's a little bit of margin in 2 to 1. So 50p win Trixie, £2 the bet. Bog bookie if you can find one. That's bet 2. And then that's the jumps. So that's 8 horses for the jumps. 7 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday, and then we're into Riyadh and Southwell. If you are backing this stuff at Riyadh, it is annoying because in some bookmakers you're going to have to scroll down and look for international meetings and things. Some of them will have it slightly higher profile. So bet 3. This is the main bet for the flat. 325 Riyadh, Lala Christine 16 to 1. 430 Southwell, Coldwell 16 to 1. 505 Southwell, Swinging London 22 to 1. And finishing the 635 Southwell, Benevente at 7s. 20p each way Yankee, 50p each way singles on the 3 big prices. No single on Benevente, which really interesting horse. That will come over from Ireland. I mean, you don't find many Irish raiders in Southwell. It's not the easiest place to get to. Excuse me, bringing a horse over from Ireland. 740 is the bet. 365 or Paddy, purely because you'll get bog, but place terms is the same on 365 Paddy, Hills, Betfred, Betfair, Sky. Those 6 bookies are the same place terms. So yeah, and that's basically the theme for the ones I've got on the flat. Sky are not stand out for these. So you've got lots of bookies paying the same place terms. So bet free 740. That's that. And a flag as well. I had a right good look at Chelmsford and drew a blank. I think the racing was too competitive. I was looking at maybe even putting out a win bet for Chelmsford, but yeah, it was too competitive, so I got nothing at Chelmsford. I've got a big price each way Trixie here. So bet 4, 325 Riyadh byline 50s, 450 at Riyadh big call at 33s, and 505 at Southwell Educator at 40s. 25p each way Trixie, 3 times 50p each way singles. And I think big call's the one where avoid bet 365 the night before. Well, the prices on that was something like 12s and everyone else is pretty much 33s. So there's a few on there where Bet365 significantly shorter price, but yeah, nice big price each way Trixie, that one. 365 Paddy, Ladbrokes and Corals would all give you bog and the same place terms, which is 4 on each race. And if you don't mind the bog, then Hills, Betfred, Betfair, Sky. So you've got 8 bookies all paying 4 places on those 3 races. That is bet 4. And then basically got a combo double with my favourite 2 races, and we have got these in the other bet. So 325 Riyadh, Lala Christine and Byline, going on to the 505 Southwell Swinging London Educator. So everybody looking at combo doubling up the decent quality jumps races. I've gone for a Southwell handicap and a race in Riyadh. There we go. 4 times 25p each way doubles. Same bookie advice. 365 Paddy, Coral, Ladbrokes, Hills, Betfred, Betfair, Sky are all 4 on those 2 races, but you'll get bog on the Southwell race with 365 Paddy, Coral, Ladbrokes. Just be clear, you don't get bog on the Riyadh race. So these ones where I'm saying bog's advisory is marginal on the basis that the Riyadh races, it won't matter anyway. It's just a Southwell race. That's bet 5. That's £2. And we're going to finish off with the double of the day, which is these 2 that are in separate bets before. So 430 Southwell, Coldwell at 16s, going on to the 450 at Riyadh, big call at 33s. 45p each way double, 90 pence is the bet. Same bookies, 365 Paddy, Ladbrokes, Corals, Hills, Betfred, Betfair, Sky. Hopefully you can find yourself on one of them 8. Okay, that's that. So, Tipster League. So I'll do the recap. Well, I'll do recap. I'll do the rundown of the Tipster League from last week because it's well overdue, and then I'll talk about this week's Tipster League. So Tipster League last week, 67 entries, which matched the week before. 16%, 11 players made a profit. That's a significant drop. 48, 72% lost it all. So the vast majority of folk lost their £10 or 10 points last week. Only 11 made profit. So what I will do is, for this week, I'll put the Tipster League comment, and it will be a long comment. At the bottom will be the full results, but I'll give them a readout in case you miss it. So well done, last week's winner. Back in the game. Haven't really seen much of him for 2024, but he did very well in 2023. Samar Kevin, £108 was the win. Comfortable winner. Gomez SC23 3160. That's second week in a row of having a healthy top 10 score. Then Shay McKenna £25 was third. Danny LFC Meatloaf £23, similar to Gomez, second week in a row of a decent top 10 score. Then Anthony Nylon was 5th, George Atkinson 6th, Nicholas Hamberley 7th, Rob Walkin 8th, Alison Treen 9th, underscore 2 True 10th, and Derek Yeo 11th. And just to be clear, you know, some weeks those sorts of monies wouldn't get in, but Derek got £2, Alison £6, Rob £8, Nicholas £11, George Jackson £12. That was good enough because there's only 11 people made profit. What does that do for the top 10? Again, top 10 is not doing much. So Shosman is still number 1, 320, didn't play again. Des Gibbons lost his 10, so he's down 305.90, so he's about 14 quid behind. Adam Essat 131.40 in 3rd. Mike Fletcher 116 5th. Dominic Carver didn't play last week, 108, so same amount but actually moved up 1 place. Jumping into the top 10 this week, we have Samar Kevin debuting in a 2024 top 10 in 8th place, and Nicholas Hambley is a re-entry at number 9. So not much movement in there. That's the last week's result. As far as this week goes, 8 races are available. If you're playing the Tipster League, you need to use one of the 8 ITV races. There's 5 at Kempton, 2 at Southwell, and 1 at Newcastle, which is the Ida. If you're going to play, please make sure that you read which races it is. So at Southwell, for instance, it's not the races I'm got on the channel selections. It's the early races, which includes it's a 245, which is actually interesting. I was going to flag about the 245 as a side. 245 is a really good betting race. I just couldn't quite get an angle I was happy enough for the channel, but it's arguably one of the best races of the day for a bet. You've got Clarendon House, even money favourite, 10 to 11. I think that horse even should be shorter, and I think it will go shorter on the day. But I wasn't going to put up a 10 to 11 shot in the Win Trixie for the channel, but it's the right favourite. It should be shorter though, because yes, you can argue that there's a clear second favourite, but not proven over 5 furlongs. And then you go down and there's not much between the others. There really isn't. So you could easily see that how you could have a couple of nice prices placed in that race. But I just didn't have a strong read in it. So yeah, so Tipster League. Please make sure, Kempton's easy. It's basically the 5 main races at Kempton. There's 2 at Southwell, 245, I think it's the 315, I think it is. And then the 208 at Newcastle, the Ida. If you're playing, you need to reply to the Tipster League comment. Most people get that now. No more than 3 selections, all singles. You need to put the stake. It needs to add up to 10. And you need to enter by 2 o'clock. And it really helps Stephen and I if you write it in the format that is written at the bottom of the comment, which basically just says the time, the race, the time, the course, and the horse, and then your stake. And if it's separate lines, that makes it a little bit easier to read, rather than, I know some people just literally just run it all in one. I appreciate not everybody following the channel and not everybody playing the Tipster League is completely tech savvy, and what for some person writing a comment can be quite an easy thing. For others, it is not always. And I also appreciate people are often doing things in the middle of a Saturday and are trying to enter the competition whilst they're washing their hands in a toilet, shopping centre toilet or something like that. And how life goes, right? So just don't drop it in the sink. That's that. I think that's it. So yeah, Tips League stuff will be in the comments. And I'm not scheduling to be back till Tuesday night. So we've got today, and then we've got 2 vids next week for the month. So I think we're sat on the month minus something horrible, like 114. I think it's pretty. That's that. So we've got 3 days to try and do something with this. Otherwise, it's going to be a bit of a heavy loss. We did have 3 losses last year, 3 months last year, where we had 100+ loss months. So it is not unheard of. It's not like we're in complete terrible territory. What I'm not happy about at the moment is apart from the result, is the strike rate. Really, it's just not enough. There's not enough horses, so it's a really, really low volume month for me for selection numbers, and that's impacting then strike rate. When the selection numbers are higher, the strike rate goes up. That's generally how it works, but it's a bit more slim pickings, a bit more interesting on Saturday. I was happy I found some interesting things, but yeah, that's sort of the story of it. We're not enough percentage of horses framing, and therefore we are taking a bit of a hit at the moment. All right. Anywho, positive attitude, innit? Change of attitude. Band's back together, innit? Steve, Terry, Dean. Might get Dean involved soon as well. Dean's a pretty good judge, you know. God, he knows a few people, does Dean. So, yeah, we might start getting Dean involved as well. But anyway, that's it. If you stayed this long, you probably know. You probably get it. But, yeah, all right. It's fun, folks. It's supposed to be all fun, isn't it? I will see you in a couple of days' time, and enjoy your weekend, whatever you are doing. Enjoy your weekend turkey Twizzler bet, and I'll see you in a few days' time. Hopefully celebrating a horse win. That would be great. Maybe even Kevin Yuan to do us a favour in the Oman International Series event. Who knows? All right. Thank you very much. Bye bye.